You're watching News 3 HD at noon.
Linda Barcz from the Bruce Company is here taking your calls at 270-9933. Some pretty perennials you brought today.
Yes, I brought a couple of different ideas. The little phlox is a reminder that this is the time of year if you want to put creeping phlox in your boulder walls. It's available, and we have different sizes. So if depending upon the size of the little pocket there to get that started. There are other things that work real well in that wall too, sedums and things. But I also brought, since so many people seem to be asking me about bunny problems on plants.
A lot of rabbits.
A lot of rabbits. I brought some things that are pretty tolerant. See, this little prickly leaf of the poppy seems to put them off. Anything that's hairy, like the catmint here with the blue flowers.
They don't like that.
They don't like the hairy leaves. There's also a little campion with a cute little pink flower, and Artemisia is the silvery plant that they seem to not like at all.
So you've got a rabbit problem. There are alternatives for you. Just ask.
Yeah, there are some things that are a little safer.
Okay, let's get to the phones. We will start with Bonnie in Sauk City. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi, which question?
I have purchased some cat lilies, and do they have to be dug up in the fall, the bulbs?
Yes, they do. Yes. What I do with them is that some of them I plant outside, but I also do. They work pretty well in containers, and I already have mine are growing and up, and I have them outside. But with the danger of frost, I'm going to bring them back in tonight. So if you put things out, pay attention to that frost warning. It's typical mid-May.
Planted impatiens and everything. Those will go.
You definitely have to cover impatiens. If they're in pots, I would suggest bringing them in because impatiens are very sensitive. Some things aren't too bad. Geraniums are tougher, but if you have sweet potato vine, that's another one that's just a hint of frost and they'll be gone. Basil, if you have your basil out.
Really?
Yeah.
The most perennials are pretty good. If they've been in the ground, they should be okay.
Oh, your perennials that are in the ground are going to be just fine. In fact, the ones that we have at our store, we don't need quite as much protection as our annuals. We'll be covering and scrambling
like every
year. Yeah.
All right, Wayne in Sun Prairie. Hi, Wayne. What's your question? Wayne, you there?
Yes.
What's your question?
Yes, my question is on these plants that we have. The plants that we have are like tulips and lilies are kind of like forced bulbs.
Okay, you've done them in containers?
Yes, they're in containers. Will those can you replant those?
You can try. They are usually that really taps the strength. But if you have a big enough yard where you can put them off somewhere where they're going to get some sun and those leaves are in good shape and they can rebuild the bulb, it's forcing plants. It's really very draining for it. So it probably won't be a few years before it flowers if it does. But you can try it.
You can try it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to Roger in Stoughton. Hi, Roger.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's your question?
I have a question. I have some daffodils, tulips, and hostas that I'd like to relocate.
Okay.
And just wondering the right time of year to do each of those.
You can actually do that at this point because then you know where the tulips. Now hostas that you can do anytime because that's growing. The other ones, the tulips and the daffodils, are going to disappear. So if you move them out now, just try to dig it deep enough so you don't cut into that stem because obviously you want that attached. You want the green portion above to rebuild that bulb for the following season.
Is a hosta bulb?
Hosta has a really nice fleshy root system and then a great fibrous roots. So you want to make sure you get one of those little growing points as well as some of that fleshy part. And they're pretty easy to transplant, at least some of the tougher ones. There are some touchy little hostas that are a little bit more difficult. But
all right, Linda in Stoughton. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Yes, I was wondering, what type of flower can you plant that will bloom all summer long?
An annual or?
Yes. Are you thinking annual? Because that's what's going to bloom all summer for you.
Yes, she is. Okay, let's assume.
All right. If you are in a shady situation, impatiens are a very good choice for that. Sun, you have an array of there's so many, geraniums, but then there's lots of new things. Dioecia is cool. There's so many.
Begonias for the north?
Begonias are nice because whether you have shade or sun, they're going to perform for you. Yeah. And they aren't sensitive. The one was with the fibrous begonia. That is not sensitive to wind.
And they go all summer long.
Yes, they do.
All right. Sarah in Friendship. Hi, Sarah.
Hello?
Hi. I have an arborvitae that has been partially eaten by deer, and I was wondering if it was going to come back maybe this year, or if I should wait and see if it comes back next year.
Okay, a lot of those arbor vitae have been eaten so severely at the base that they aren't going to be able to relief. But if it's going to come with new growth, you're going to see something this season. Otherwise, with some people, if they're upright arbor vitae, what we do is we plant some globe ones at the base to sort of camouflage that, assuming you have enough room to plant in front of them.
Yeah, deer like arbor vitae.
Yes, and when they chew hard enough, it does not come back.
All right, we're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Linda will take your calls off the air. We'll see you next week.
Great.
Get outside and cover up tonight.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back with a final check your forecast.